It will take you at least 10 years to become the best engineer in your field. But in this podcast, it will only take you 10 minutes. Welcome to the Best Engineer podcast. Today we're here with Austin Loo, a Malaysian Mechatronics Engineering student who's in the early stages of becoming a tech entrepreneur. Thank you for being here with us today, Austin.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be part of this podcast.
Okay, let's get started with the questions then. So, you know how mechatronics has become an increasingly popular major lately, right? Because how it combines mechanical, electrical, and so many other skills. So, as a mechatronics engineering student, how do you balance mechanical, electrical, and software skills in your projects?
Well, when most people try to approach mechatronics engineering, they think they need to be a master of every single skills. That's not true, actually. For me, I think becoming a mechatronics engineer, you just need to be able to be good at the foundations of each skills. So you don't need to be a extreme genius in becoming in the mechanical side, electrical side, software side. As long as you understand the foundations of each skills, you can be able to use this a variety of skills in harmony. And that's the core basics of becoming a mechatronics engineer. If you know popular YouTubers like Mark Rober, he himself said that he isn't a genius in every single skill set. He's just good in becoming in the mechanical side, electrical side, software side. So um, don't don't worry too much if you're not extremely good in each skills. Just be good at the foundations. And if you're not sure about anything, just ask Google or your peers if you want to have deeper understanding in each skill set.
Yeah, exactly. Because if you focus on one thing, you're gonna wait so much time on the details, right? So I believe it's more like jack of all trades, master of none.
Yeah, that's a very good quote to sum up what I just said.
Yeah. Okay, Austin, I always wondered. So let's say you had to design a robot from scratch. So where would you start?
That's a tough question, actually. Well, most people, when they approach designing a robot, they'll just start with the mechanical side, so the main physical functionality. For me, I start with the brains. So I always try to figure out what microcontroller I'm going to use, what type of software am I going to use to code the robot. So that way you have less things to worry about in the future. So let's say for example, I want to build a robotic arm. So I would start with trying to figure out what type of software, the main internal functions of the robot. Then only I'll move on to the mechanical aspects. So how does the robot arm move and etc.
Okay. And do you have any specific like examples on that?
Um, I don't really. I have done Lego Robotics EV3, so it's a kind of Lego educational set to learn how to make a robot. I don't have it with me right now, but I can tell you that when I first made this robot for a robot sumo competition, I had to start from the brains. So I tried to figure out the coding of it, and it's very simple because Lego robotic coding, it uses block stacking, not like Python. So it's very simple to code on. And then from there, I move on to the more physical aspects. So where does the wheels go to? Where does the arm go to? And from there, I made my first ever robot sumo. So yeah, it's a very good learning experience if you try playing around with Lego robotics, if you want to learn more about how robotics work and if you want to make a robot.
That's great. I think I should give it a try. I should consider it. It's pretty popular, right?
Yeah, you should give it
Yeah.
a try.
Okay. And finally, Austin, as a mechatronics engineering student, what advice would you give to students who are considering mechatronics? And in the sense of also giving advice, you know how mechatronics is also very similar to mechanical. So how would students consider or like know which major to go for?
Interesting, interesting. Um, well, I think mechatronics, right, is kind of the engineering field that combines all engineering fields. So, like you say, a jack of all trades. Um, if you are someone who loves to design something or want to create a product, I think mechatronics is very good because you get to know everything about designing a certain technology. So, for example, if you, let's say, want to create the next new uh, robot chef, right? If you do mechatronics, you get to understand straight from the mechanical aspect to the electronic aspect and the software of that robot itself. Um, in another way I can put it is like you mentioned mechanical, right? So if let's say I told you to design a chair, the mechanical way of doing it is you just create a very funky looking chair that plays around with the forces and the stress of the material itself. But for a mechatronics engineer, you get to think of it in a lot of different mindset. So you not only just think about the shape of the chair itself, but you can maybe make the chair walk. So using real walkable parts that will make the chair walk, not just wheels, or probably have like the chair self stack or the chair to fold up by itself. So mechatronics gives you the ability to think in many different mindset. And if that is something that you love to have as part of your life or as part of a skill set you want in the future, then mechatronics that go to major you should have as an engineer.
Okay, okay. And what's one advice, just one advice you would give to mechatronics students or students who are considering mechatronics?
Right. So there's a lot of different kinds of advice to be honest. Um, One major one I would like to give is to don't stress so much, right? Don't be too worried when you're not knowing something or you're struggling with something because mechatronics it combines so many things. So uh it can be quite overwhelming at first glance, but once you get the hang of it, you understand that mechatronics is something where it's something fun. You get to know a lot. You're basically trying to combine your understanding in different engineering fields. So don't be too stressed. If you're not sure about anything, again, you can always ask Mr. Google or AI if you want to,
Yeah.
or you can even ask your peers. Because engineers, right, we don't work on a solution by ourselves. We work as a team. And I think mechatronics is kind of that first major that help us understand this concept.
Yeah, I think I would give a similar advice as well, because you know how engineering is almost all about teamwork. You have to work as a group. You have to work with your group members, because you work it with like with t team members and projects all the time, right?
Exactly, yeah. Um, in my course of becoming a mechatronics engineer, I had to work with different kinds of people,
See,
people who
exactly. Yeah,
use electronics. Yeah, exactly. So
yeah,
uh, it's a it's very good learning experience, especially in real life when you're going to the working force.
exactly. Thank you so much, Austin, for sharing your thoughts and experience with us today. I really enjoyed this, and if you enjoyed this as well, don't forget to subscribe. And that's it. That's the wrap of this episode of the Best Engineer podcast. If you have any questions, feel free to DM us on Instagram at the best engine 2R. See you in the next episode.